Today we wrap up our Bugging Out triple feature with Dario Argento's 1985 investigation into bug scholars, rooftop fallers, and creepy crawlers. The foe wind is blowing, the lab assistant chimps are out for revenge, and Jennifer Connelly is at the right place, at the right time, with just the right telepathic bug detective murder-solving superpowers as we hop on a bus to a private school in the Swiss Alps to meet a malformed, maladjusted serial murderer in Phenomena.
You're listening to How I Met Your Monster, a podcast that explores the introductions to your favorite movie monsters. My name's Zach.
I'm Danny.
And I'm Casey.
And together we dive into the world of horror to find out how filmmakers have introduced us to our favorite monsters time and time again. This is How I Met Your Monster.
Boss, you opened it. We came.
I met him 15 years ago. I was told there was nothing left.
Explorers in the further regions of experience. Demons to some, angels to others.
Call you Meatloaf! Surprise, Sydney.
Welcome to How I Met Your Monster, the show where we discuss the introductions to your favorite movie monsters. Today, we are wrapping up our Buggin' Out triple feature with Dario Argento's 1985 wild ride of a movie, Phenomena, a.k.a. Creepers.
I think this is the first movie in our Bugging Out triple feature that truly is bugging out.
It's pretty bonkers.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. Wait, what was our first? I've like already.
Ticks.
This movie has like melted my brain though. Okay, Ticks.
Yeah.
Ticks and Mimic.
Mm-hmm.
Ticks is cut and dry, like in the best way. I mean that is a compliment. You know what the story is.
You know what you're getting.
You get the story. You know what you're getting. You're getting ticks in the woods and monster ticks. Mimic, solid. We've talked about it. Listen to our episode. It's fantastic. Polished, creepy, mysterious, atmospheric. And then you have Phenomena, which I'll just go out on the record and say I had a lot of fun watching.
Yes.
But that's not to say I necessarily understood what it was that I was watching.
Yeah.
Okay.
Same.
I kind of wish, like, I enjoyed the movie. I mean, it's like I saw somewhere on a review of this from like years ago, someone called it like a Dario Argento's greatest hits, just like all compiled into one movie, which doesn't always work all the time, but it's kind of like a lot of his signature stuff. But I didn't really have like a good viewing experience. So if you've heard me and Casey talk about this before, like we like having captions on the screen, right? So Casey ended up finding some captions on Pluto, but I tried to watch it on Plex and I tried to watch it on the Roku channel. Roku, it's all in Italian. It's got Italian subtitles. It's the dialogue is in Italian, but I watched it on Plex. So I couldn't watch it with captions because they weren't available. And I got like a minute and a half of ads every 15 minutes.
Oh.
And so it was just like not a very like solid viewing experience. It was kind of annoying. So like on top of it just being like a wild movie, like I was kind of thrown for a loop with the way I watched it too. But I did really like it. It's crazy. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense. I think the music is poorly placed.
I love the music.
I love the music that he uses. I think it is put in some weird places that I'm like, why is this song playing now?
I liked that. Like when she was walking with the lightning bug and it was like,
yeah.
Well, it's funny you were talking about captions because I don't put on captions, but I did for this one because I thought I needed them because early in the first part of the movie, I thought the actor was speaking Italian, but it was dubbed in a way that was hard to, understand for a little bit.
Yeah.
And I just ended up leaving them on. And at one point there's like this quiet moment of, we'll get to it, but all of a sudden it just says Iron Maiden playing. I was like, wait, what?
Mine said metal music. Captions are kind of a necessity for me, especially during the summer, because I don't have central air, and so I have to use really loud AC units, and I can't hear for shit when I'm watching movies. So,
yep. But the dubbing in a lot of like old Italian movies, they didn't record sound at all. They just shot and then everything was dubbed.
Weird.
Like even atmospheric sound and everything was dubbed later. And so that's why, like, if you see their lips moving, they're speaking English, but their audio doesn't always necessarily match up. And it sounds also like it's not coming from them at the same time.
Yeah.
It's just because it's all dubbed. They shot without sound, which
So
I think
bizarre.
would be fucking awesome to do, to make like a movie in the style of like these old 70s, 80s fucking Italian movies and just shoot without sound.
That's
kind of
fun.
like a Ty West movie. You know how he would do like X or something where it like looks like it's of that time period, but shoot without sound and then just dub everything. I think that would be.
I bet
cool.
he'll do that someday. That seems like a very Ty West thing.
Sure.
That's smart. I like that.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's funny. Language in this movie, just in general, there are choices that I just didn't understand. Like sometimes Jennifer Connelly would just start talking in Italian,
Oh, really?
did she?
and I was like,
I
I
never
didn't
noticed.
notice that. I didn't notice that.
"Did you?" Okay, this brings me to another point. I just found out that there are different versions of this movie.
Yeah.
Now, I watched the version, whatever's on Amazon. I rented it.
Okay.
And the fact that you already both don't understand what I mean when I say that she's speaking in Italian scares me.
How long was it? Do you know?
I can find out right
Because the original runtime was like 116 minutes. So like an hour 56. Right? Is that right? Did I do that math right?
now. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that was released as Phenomena. When it came to the US, I believe they rebranded it as Creepers and they cut like 20 minutes out. 20 minutes or more.
Well, that's
Could have
the
been
one I
even more.
watched.
Wait, I'm sorry. Can you? I was looking it up. Can you tell me what the original one was versus the new cut?
The original Phenomena cut was like an hour and 56 minutes.
That's the one I watched.
Okay. Casey, yours was a lot shorter?
Not a lot shorter. It was like 15 minutes.
Okay. Okay.
Oh, this is
Wow.
great. Oh, wait, I kind of love this for this
Did
movie.
we watch 3 different versions of this movie?
Oh, it's so
Well,
funny.
Zach didn't know she was speaking Italian either, so
Mhm. So it's like Danny got one version. Me and Casey got the same version, but hers was shorter.
That's so
Oh my
funny.
God.
Yeah, there was a few scenes where when she's on the bus toward the end, when she has the sarcophagus fly with her,
Uh-huh.
and I'm assuming the person on the bus was asking her to close her window because they were looking at the window and her window was open, and she was like yelling at her, and she was like, "Non mi piaci."
Dude, okay, yeah, we totally watched a different movie because because I was watching that and she's on the bus and everything's happening. She's looking out the window. She opens the window. She's doing whatever. She gets off the bus and then some lady in the background looks very angry and comes and slams the window shut. And I was like, what was that all about?
I love how I'm like filling in the pieces.
That's so funny.
That's hilarious because I literally consciously was during that. I mean, this happened in a couple scenes, but specifically in that scene, I was like, guys, cut this stuff. Why are we here? Why are we on this? But I get it. Beautiful shots, but like, cut. Like, this is such a waste of time. And they did. Someone did cut.
Oh my God. That's so funny.
But yeah, she speaks in Italian. Or it's so funny because I thought the woman sounded more like German. So then I was like even more confused. And then later,
yeah, in the beginning.
They're in Zurich.
Yeah, they're in Germany.
So are they speaking? They are speaking Italian at parts, though, right?
Not,
Am I losing it?
Not what I saw.
know.
I thought I heard Italian.
Where is Switzerland?
Switzerland?
Switzerland's in the Alps, but that's in that area. Here, I'll show. I'm gonna pull up a
God,
map.
I wish I was better at geography.
I'll pull up a map.
Because I feel like I want to say, to me, Zurich, Switzerland sounds like a place.
I'm gonna call you out right now. I don't think Zurich's real. I feel like you guys are spoofing me.
Zurich is in Switzerland.
Okay.
No, but there's another scene at the end when Jen is talking to
Her
to
name
Brooke.
is Jennifer in the movie.
Mhm.
I know. That's fair.
Yeah.
When,
Switzerland is in between Germany and Italy, by the way.
Yes.
Oh, okay. So they could have been speaking German or Italian.
Correct.
So maybe that's a thing in that area. Maybe it's just common to run into those different languages.
Well,
yeah, I'm going to believe that.
I feel like everybody over there is so much smarter than us anyways. And so I think they all do speak like 3 or 4 languages, just like, it's just normal.
100%. We're so stupid. And no, but there's a scene where Jennifer Connelly's talking to Frau Bruckner at the end, and randomly just they start yelling at each other in another language. I was like, and there's no, it just says in the caption, it says foreign language. I was like, lovely.
They were too tired. They were just like, fuck it, I don't want to type this out. Just what should I do, boss?
But it's funny, there is that famous, maybe it's not a famous quote, but there's that quote that says you should be able to watch a movie without sound and still know what's going on. And that's like the sign of a good movie. So I was like, I get it. They're not happy with each other, and works.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah. Okay. Wow. This fucking movie. That's so funny that we watch different versions.
I feel like this is the movie to do that for, though. Like if ever there was a movie to not be on the same page, I feel like we'll still be on the same page though, because we're filling in the gaps.
With each other's movies.
Yeah.
Did you guys notice a narrator? Let me ask you this. Did your version have a narrator for one line?
Yeah, you know who the narrator is?
Who?
Dario Argento.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Wait, what scene was it?
She pulls up to the school and it's like, Jennifer has arrived at the school where she will meet her greatest fear or something. And I don't know what it was. And then it was like,
I was like, think so.
It was like 15 minutes into the movie and we get this narrator. And I was like, okay, the movie's going to have a narrator now. And then he never comes back.
Nope.
he never
so
comes
funny.
back. Oh, it was wild.
It's so wild to me how difficult it is to make movies in general, because everyone usually, I mean, this isn't the only reason, but people all have to get on the same page and like understand it.
Yeah.
But then I watch movies like this and I'm just like,
they clearly weren't here.
I mean, people are in a room together, like mixing sound. Like there's time to make a choice. Like someone's just like, sure. You just want to talk into the mic and put that in the movie. Okay. Just right here. Nowhere else. Yeah. Okay.
Great.
Let's release that.
That's what.
Like what?
Yeah.
I did really like this movie. There were just obviously some issues. I wish the bugs would have been more prevalent.
Oh, Casey, I agree. I actually think the concept, like the foundation story of this movie, is so much fun. Having this bug doctor who, when Donald, all right, well, we're jumping around, but when Donald Pleasance explains how these bugs work with corpses and how you can basically solve a murder by backtracking which type of bug is on a corpse. Mm-hmm. I thought that was such a fun idea. Mm-hmm. And they do play with it, but that ends up being such a small like part to this the grand design and the insanity.
Yeah, all the bug stuff was because she has this power where she can like bugs help her and shit, and she doesn't use it. She literally doesn't use it. Like there's one scene where she's telling all of them that she loves them and they all swarm around and then she faints, and that's like the extent of what she does.
This movie's 25 different stories.
She uses the one bug to lead her somewhere.
I'm going to push back on that a little bit because she uses the firefly, helps her find the glove, and then the fly helps her find where the bodies are, right?
Not enough.
And then
still not enough.
The flies come and, like you said, and swarm the school and like scare everybody. Then the flies come and eat the fucking kid's face off at the end. So I don't know. I get it, but
I
think there was a little bit more.
I thought the twist was, because it does feel a little bit like, well, that's, convenient that she has bug powers to solve these murders, but it didn't feel like, I was like, and he's a bug doctor. Like I thought there was going to be a twist coming together, like a more bug specific killer.
I will say though, something. I wish though, like to your point, Casey, I wish she what's the word? Harnessed it better. Like she was like, she took control of it and she was like, okay, I'm going to use these bugs. They kind of just come out of nowhere and help her instead of her being
there's no consistency.
I'm going to use these.
There's that scene when the students are teasing her, and then she basically proves to them, like, no, like I straight up can talk to bugs, and all the flies come, and like the wind is blowing her.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's not blowing her, it's blowing at her. And then the headmistress mentions something, how she's basically, you know, how Beelzebub was the Lord of the Flies, and how she is the Lady of the Flies. And I was like, oh shit, like she's this evil presence and doesn't even know she's evil, and maybe she's the one killing people. But they never really return to that. They never exploit. They're just like, wow, you're crazy, we're gonna put you into a mental institution. It's like, did no one else just witness what we all saw? Like,
yeah.
And maybe you could argue there's like a sense of like denial and stuff, and you could dig into that. But yeah, a lot of really fun ideas thrown into a blender for what is ultimately a fun movie, I think.
Yeah.
What it has in fun, it loses in logic. Right?
Yeah.
Do you think this is one of those movies that would benefit from a more straightforward, and I don't mean not fun, but a more straightforward in terms of narrative remake?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
I feel like there's something there.
Yeah.
With like
you could do something really cool with
the
it.
Donald Pleasance character and Jennifer Connelly. That's fun.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Like if they, I don't know, if they like teamed up more.
Right.
There needs to be more of a deliberate setup.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you almost have to open up a little more procedurally. Like there's a killer. I would almost get rid of the whole boarding school thing. It's so irrelevant. Just there's a killer, and they hire this guy who can like figure out the murders by like do the whole bug thing, and then somehow bring in. You almost don't even need superpowers, right?
Well,
yeah,
I don't know.
You do.
Maybe you do.
Yeah. And
I'm just trying to think of like
the boarding school thing is a way to have her far from home.
Yeah.
Yeah, what like her like famous movie star dad
that she's obsessed with and wants to fuck. How fucking weird is that?
Yeah, weird.
What do you do? What do you think about before you go to sleep? She's like, my dad.
Ew. So don't worry, I've got tons of posters of him.
Yeah, she's like, I think about your dad too.
That's weird. It's
Before I go
weird.
to sleep.
I mean, that's fine because that's not her daughter.
All right, enough with the horny dad stuff. I'm still thinking about this remake.
Well,
sorry.
I feel like I think the story, I would get rid of the school, and I would have either the Donald Pleasance character hears about this girl who can like talk to bugs and finds her, or vice versa. She finds out that there's these murders and things, like I might be able to help them. And it becomes more about these two people, and that's it. It's just they're the main characters. And maybe they like one of them, like he doesn't believe her, but she proves it. And it becomes this whole thing of like solving murders with these weird bugs. I don't know.
Danny,
that's it. I feel like that's the story.
Write it and pitch it to Blumhouse.
I will. Like, Jason, get Jennifer on the phone.
Yeah, no, you could do like, well, I guess it wouldn't have to be a boarding school, but like she could return and just like play like the headmistress.
Or the Donald Pleasance character.
Or the Frau Bluka.
Oh,
oh my God.
Frau Bruckner.
Oh God, I love it. I love it. No, she could just be the, she could come back as like headmistress or something, but
she could have a cameo.
Oh, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
I kind of want to do this movie. That would be a fun remake.
It would. It really would.
Oh.
Okay. So, Phenomena, 1985, directed by Dario Argento, written by Dario Argento and Franco Ferrini, who also wrote Once Upon a Time in America and Demons.
Oh.
Yeah. So he's written a ton of stuff, but those are like ones that are on a lot of people's radars. But so are you guys ready to head to Switzerland and go to an all-girls boarding school?
Yeah, as long as we don't miss the bus.
To Crisscross, where are you at?
I missed the bus. Oh. And that is something that I will never, ever do again.
Oh, you actually know the words.
Yeah.
I forgot. Like, I just knew it was a Crisscross song. I missed
Danny's
the bus.
got no idea.
You don't know about Crisscross? They used to wear their clothes backwards.
Mm-hmm.
That's too funky for my taste.
They sing the song Jump?
Yeah. They were like kids. They were probably like, I don't know, 12 years
13,
old. They were rappers. and they wore their fucking clothes backwards.
The rebels.
I had the cassette tape crisscross. All right, let's not miss our bus. Let's head to this all-girls boarding school to talk to some bugs in Switzerland.
Let's do it.
Let's go.
Okay, so here we are in Switzerland. Danny, this was your choice for our Bugging Out triple feature. Could you please read the synopsis of Phenomena via IMDb?
Sure. A young girl who has an amazing ability to communicate with insects is transferred to an exclusive Swiss boarding school where her unusual capability might help solve a string of murders.
Ooh, it's an exclusive boarding school. That's cool.
A very aggressive, slightly abusive.
Why does Dario Argento have a thing for all female boarding schools?
That's the thing.
Because he's an old fucking pervert.
Probably.
Yeah. That's where I was when we were talking about like to remake this movie. Like, would you need all of these things? I would argue that is one of those elements that was more his. He just wanted it rather than it being a necessity.
Well, they're also a lot more popular in Europe.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I mean, look at Harry Potter.
Duh. Hogwarts, hello.
Dude, what if Harry could control bugs?
Probably why they're smarter, because they don't have the opposite sex to distract them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But then they all turn gay.
There was a comedian who said something. He was like, if my son ever came out as gay, I would send him right to military school. And everyone in the audience is like, Jesus. He's like, I want to give him that opportunity to shower with naked guys. I just want to be accepting.
Funny.
That's so funny. Okay, so for our monster reveals for Phenomena, we have 7 official reveals and 1 honorable mention. Does that sound right to you guys?
Do it.
It's pretty low numbers, but
Phenomenal. Was this Jennifer Connelly's first movie?
I think it was. No, actually. So speaking of Franco Ferrini, who wrote Once Upon a Time in America, that was her first movie, was Once Upon a Time in America.
Young Deborah.
Mm-hmm. And in this one, her name is Jennifer Corvino, which is funny because in Mimic, we had Mira Sorvino, whose dad is Paul Sorvino. And in this one, her name is Jennifer Corvino and her dad is Paul Corvino. It's like a mind fuck.
Okay, so this is the first time I've ever written down a How I Met Your Monster conspiracy theory of the week.
Danny, oh my God, you just made me so happy. It is time for the How I Met Your Monster conspiracy theory of the week.
already?
Hit it, Danny.
You're telling me that NASA is going to kill the President of the United States with an earthquake.
Not exactly the kind of thing a Secret Service agent can, like, just throw himself on top of. The whole Vietnam War was fought over a bit. Howard Hughes lost to Aristotle Onassis. This is our 3rd issue this year. Conspiracy theory.
So, as you had mentioned, Zach, Jennifer Connelly's character in this movie, whose name is Jennifer Corvino, talks to her roommate about her dad, Paul Corvino. And it was, as we all know, Paul Corvino. Oh, wait, okay, ignore that. Paul Corvino sounds a lot like Paul Sorvino. And in our last episode, we talked about the film Mimic, starring Mira Sorvino, who is the daughter of Paul Sorvino.
So many Vinos. Oh my God.
So question, conspiracy theory of the week. Is Jennifer Connelly Mira Sorvino?
Oh my God.
Both are Oscar-winning actresses.
Okay.
Both have parents, essentially, who might...
They both have parents. That's good.
Yeah, they're both Paul Sorvino or Corvino, which might be the same thing. I don't know, but you would assume so.
Have Jennifer Connelly and Mira Sorvino ever been in the same room? That's our new test. Have they been in the same room?
Never.
This makes 0 sense.
Wait, when you say it makes 0 sense, do you mean like metaphorically?
I mean, how do you get a conspiracy theory out of the fact that they share 4 letters in their last name?
How do you get a conspiracy theory? Shut
up, letters. Shut up.
There's a conspiracy theory, and there are only 4 letters.
You're the one talking about conspiracy theories with 4 letters. That's not me. You're the one making up the weird conspiracy theories.
Paul Corvino.
Because they share 4 letters.
Is it Paul
in their
Sorvino
name.
or Paul Corvino?
Oh, it's 6 letters. My bad.
Mila Sorvino is Jennifer Connelly.
They share 6 letters.
By the way, guys, Jennifer Connelly and Mira Sorvino have never starred together in the same movie or TV show.
That doesn't mean they haven't been in the same room together.
Yeah, they can't. Well, technically, they are in the same room together if you view them as separate entities, but they are the same person. And Paul Sorvino is the fictional dad from this movie. They are also the same person.
Paul Corvino.
Paul Corvino. Get your fucking shit straight,
Sorvino.
Danny.
No, that's Paul Sorvino.
I quit.
You guys, this is a podcast about horror movies and specifically bugs for our Bugging Out triple feature. Let's get back on track.
Thank you.
Before we start bugging out, am I right?
I've been bugging out.
Good. We're on brand.
But bugging out with 4 letters.
4 letters.
4 letters.
Okay, so the movie starts off with our first reveal right out of the gate. We get a tourist named Vera. Is that right, Casey? Vera. Vera, who misses the bus to wherever she's going, and she finds this house that has a mysterious thing chained up inside, and we don't really know what it is yet. The monster gets loose, and I don't know. If I was Vera, I don't think I would have fucking went all the way through this house. Like, if you're lost, I could see if she was in a desperate situation. She gets to the house, the door's kind of like open. She's like, hello. Just like sit in the nearest chair that you find and just be like, hey, someone comes back. I'm going to just explain myself. Say I was cold. I wanted to come in.
Wasn't the house clearly abandoned, though?
I don't know.
Second of all, go stand at the bus stop. The bus will stop.
But when is there another bus? We don't know.
She was doomed from the start because even when the bus drives away, she doesn't do enough to flag it down because there's a point where the road turns in such a way that it may as well be driving toward you.
I thought
she could have just like if she had kept running, they would have seen everyone on that bus. At least one person would have.
She was asking for it.
She was asking to get decapitated.
So we get some really cool, like the person, whatever it is, escapes from the chains. And then we get like this very classic 4 letters.
Make fun of me.
Very classical.
Bitch.
There's a classical setup in a horror movie.
We get like this really like classic giallo style, like gloved hand killer thing. And this was Dario Argento's second movie after coming back from taking his, like, he like stepped away from classic giallo style movies and he did Suspiria and Inferno, which Inferno was kind of like a follow up to Suspiria. It's like about witches and stuff. Mm-hmm. So he had done all these like classic kind of like just like killer movies. And then he does like the fantastical like witch movies. And then he comes back in 1982 with Tenebrae, which is fucking awesome. And then this was the follow up to that. So he has stepped away and did like some monster stuff. Then he comes back to giallo, and now he's kind of blending the two a little bit with phenomena and
seamlessly.
Seamlessly, yes. And so it seems like it's like some like monster thing because it's like breaking through these chains. But then we get like a gloved killer, and so we're like, wait a second, what's kind of going on here?
And then we get a chimp just to throw us all off.
Yes. Yeah. A chimp. Oh yeah. I can't wait to talk about the monkey. But yeah, so she gets like choked with the chains, but then she gets out and then she runs away, she gets stabbed in the hand with some scissors, which is pretty fucking cool. And then she gets chased outside into like some caves that also have like,
she finds like a waterfall, some cave structure.
It's got to be like touristy because there's like guardrails. There's like it's not like a natural thing, but she gets trapped and stabbed in the gut, and then her head busts through the glass. And I guess the glass is what cuts her head off. Maybe.
Yeah, I wasn't sure about that either.
Like, does a piece of glass fall down and cut her
he did
head
have
off?
scissors. Maybe the scissors.
I don't know.
Maybe he,
I just assumed he cut her head
leaned
off,
over.
but...
Yeah. I don't know. But her head falls down into the waterfall, only to be discovered 8 months later, I think, by the police, and it's got all those bugs on it.
Yeah, I really like that part.
Mm-hmm.
It was 8 months?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that doesn't make sense, though, because, and I'm not saying you're wrong, but that doesn't make sense for the story, because the next part of this movie is when we meet Donald Pleasance's character, who's like the bug doctor, and he gives this whole explanation about how you can use bugs to basically like track but he said that there is a time frame and it's 4 months.
Well, he talks about like a cycle. He talks about like the cycles of like the larva and everything. Mm-hmm. And so he said like the bugs had like been through the cycle, and this is like,
oh, so it's done.
Even
so
more.
The cycle is finished.
Well, I think there was 2 cycles.
Well, all right. So this is how they explain it. They said that there are insects that eat cadavers that he separates. Oh, he didn't separate, but they're separated into 8 groups. And in each group is a different type of insect. So they essentially like take turns. Okay. So that's how you can like track at what stage, or how long this corpse has been decomposing.
Okay.
And they said that so there's 8 different types of bug species, and they all have 15-day intervals, and that essentially caps off at 4 months. And it starts with with the housefly, and then so with the fact that it's 8, I don't know, it just seems like a strange point to be so specific about the time interval, and then to say it's 8 months later, but there's still bugs feeding on the corpse.
She was in the water for a little while.
Yeah, she was in the water. The head was in the water.
Her head was in the water for a while.
Oh, that's what it must be. So when they found the head, I see. Okay, that makes sense.
Because later in the movie, they do bring up the 8 months again when they're talking, like the inspector goes to the house and he sees like the caretaker there, and he's like, how long has this house been empty? And the guy was like, about 8 months. And then he talks to Frau Bruckner, and he says, how long have you lived in this house? And she was like, about 8 months. So yeah, I think the head being in the water was part of what is throwing off the timeline.
Gotcha.
For your explanation, because I think they bring that up and they say it was in the water. Okay. Because they get it down to like the day. They get it down to like a 2-day gap. Yeah. So then we meet our main character, Jennifer Connelly, actually Jennifer Corvino. Could be Mira Sorvino. We don't really know.
Could be.
Could be. Is. And she's driving in the car, and like this fucking bee is in there, and everyone is freaking out about this bee. Like, I loved seeing the cutaway of the car just like swerving all over the road because stupid. This one little bee.
People overreact in this movie in every single scene. Yeah. No one responds rationally ever. Like, someone will, like, if they have a strong opinion, like they'll just straight up just like start screaming at someone. It's like, Jesus Christ. Like, I got no setup.
I still think it's so funny that we watch different movies.
And is that Frau Bruckner in the scene with the bee?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Because she's like she's like her guide or something, who's like,
that's right.
I don't know what you'd call it, but
that's the one thing that threw me with this movie. Oh, the one thing. One of the things that threw me in this movie was, spoiler alert, at the end when we get the reveal, that Frau Bruckner is one of the 2 antagonists. I kind of forgot specifically who she was. I knew she worked at the school, but I forgot that there had been so many other people that Jennifer is interacting with.
Yeah, well, because there's like the headmistress too.
Herrings. Yeah.
Yeah, the headmistress is kind of like, she gets set up to be like so evil at the beginning. She like comes in and she like takes her poster away, and she's like, no posters, go to sleep, no smoking. Well, I mean, that one's a given, but
that monster.
She's like, we don't have food here. Eat this baby food.
So he's so bizarre.
You were supposed to be in here 6 hours ago.
Yeah, sorry. I didn't drive.
Yeah. But Jennifer's attitude in this, like, she's clearly like I don't know, I guess like a rich kid because she is used to getting what she wants. And she just like has this attitude where she's just like, fuck you, lady. She's like, my flight was late. I couldn't help it. You take my poster, I'm going to hang up 12 more. You know what I mean?
I mean, I would have that. I would have balls like that if Paul Sorvino was my dad. So
fuck yeah. Paul Sorvino's balls are fucking huge.
He's like, you don't take no shit when you're in that school. That's my Paul Sorvino impression, by the way.
That's good. Was Casey doing a Paul Sorvino impression earlier? And she said Paul Sorvino. You don't take no shit when you're in that school. I'll stick my giant balls on them.
Balls?
Stick his giant. What?
Balls?
He's gonna stick his balls on someone.
His balls have teeth.
Okay. It's enough to pick on Casey corner over here.
Wait, we didn't pick on you.
We didn't pick on you.
Oh, Zach's not been making fun of me for saying fool?
There's literally a whole segment that we shared in a clip that it was released to public of me with my speech impediment. So I don't. It is fair game. Okay. Good Lordy. Where are we? We are.
Right, so the mistress. So the head mistress is kind of set up like an evil. She's kind of set up to be like an evil, the antagonist, but then she never really comes back to that.
So the head mistress is not. She doesn't become bad, but who ends up becoming one of the antagonists? What's her name?
Frau Bruckner.
Right.
That's right. Yeah.
I forgot.
You're welcome. You're
Slipped
welcome,
my mind.
Conveniently. But this brings us to our second reveal where Jennifer is sleepwalking and she goes into like this abandoned building and she's up on the fucking roof and this lady's getting chased. We don't really know who this lady is. Is it just like another victim?
Mm-hmm.
I think so.
Like a just random victim that we haven't met yet.
I thought they were all students, but I guess that's not relevant.
Yeah.
I just assumed that it was the students being killed off.
Because they didn't.
Okay.
They didn't say anything about it at school.
That's true.
Okay. Yeah. Because at first I thought it was Sophie, her roommate, but then it turns out it wasn't. We get like some more black gloved killer scenes with them setting up the weapon of like, it's like a spear, knife, sword thing. And that just goes right through that fucking lady's throat. Well, her mouth actually goes like through the back of her head and comes out her mouth.
The kills in this movie are so fun.
I like them.
Yeah. The first one and this one.
If nothing else, that elevates the movie for me.
Yeah. Yeah. Dude, there's some fucking awesome kills in these old Giallo movies that like, you just don't even, it's wild. Like if you listen to our previous episode, our crossover episode with the Cinematropolis about Maxine, I did mention the movie Opera. Mm-hmm. And in that movie, Argento does this awesome thing with like the pins and the needles. Have you guys seen Opera? He puts a bunch of needles on 2 pieces of tape and he tapes them under her eyelid.
Oh, I've seen this scene.
And she has to keep her eyes open and watch her friends being murdered. Because if she closes her eyes, the needles are going to go through her fucking eyelids.
I guess I have to watch Opera.
Dude, it's fucking wild. They do some crazy, crazy shit. So yeah, the kills in this movie are like top notch. And the first reveal and the second reveal both have a lady busting through glass with their fucking head.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, it's kind of brutal.
They do kind of, I won't go off on too much of a tangent, just a quick little reference. In Scream 4, when Olivia gets killed, it feels very, I wonder if they're referencing that because they stab her a bunch, like literally gut her, bash her head through the window. And it's like, they really emphasize like the shattering of the window. And he kills her.
Is that the scene where they're like watching from across the house?
So it's like Rear Window meets Argento. Yeah. Oh, 2 things. One, did we clarify in that scene with Frau Bruckner in the car with the bumblebee that Jennifer Connelly has this affinity, this relationship with insects?
We did.
Oh, we didn't. No.
So we should probably just like clarify that.
Yeah.
So Jennifer Connelly in this movie has this very unique relationship with bugs and insects where She's good to them. They're good to her. She even clarifies, like, don't worry, this bee is not going to sting me. I have this very weird, maybe we'll find out it's supernatural connection to insects. So that obviously is going to play a big part. So, yeah.
Yeah, we missed the important part.
So after the second reveal, we follow a totally normal series of events. Jennifer falls off the roof, gets hit by a car, gets rescued by the drivers.
Oh, God, I forgot about this.
Oh,
yeah, gets attacked by the drivers, jumps out of the car, finds some ladybugs, meets a chimp, leaves with the chimp, and then meets Donald Pleasance.
That hasn't happened to you before, Danny?
Not in that order.
Every Saturday night.
Yeah, I forgot about the ladybugs on that leaf.
You even see it from their perspective. You get a POV from ladybugs with the hexagonal eyes.
I forgot about these fucking dudes who picked her up, who are just going shaking her in the car.
Like, are your bones broken? Wait, quiet. Let's listen for some broken bones.
They're just like, what are you doing? Are you okay? Are you okay? They're just shaking her the whole time she's driving. And she's like, get off of me. And they're like,
well, I think
everyone's just overreacting. They can't even help calmly.
Yeah. The one guy was trying to do sexual things.
He was, right? Okay.
Was he?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think so.
It just looked like
the passenger guy was trying
her.
to. Yeah, I think he was trying to touch her, and she was like, "Get off of me!" And then, but she jumps out and meets the ladybugs, and then meets a chimp. Oh my god!
I would argue that maybe Donald Pleasance's character in this movie is a little even creepier than the drivers, because literally they meet. They kind of set up the fact, or they kind of reinforce the fact that she has this relationship with insects, and Jennifer triggers. She has this bug. One of the bugs that he's working with, is crawling on her, and he's like, "You've triggered the bug's mating call. You're exciting it."
Yeah,
and he doubles down. He mentions this 4 more times. And he has this goofy grin on his face.
She walks into the room. He's holding the bug, and it fucking comes on his glasses.
Wait, what?
Did you not see that?
I don't think that was in my cut.
Oh my god. It fucking, he's holding it in his hand and it fucking splooges all over his fucking.
Do that, bro.
I don't think it was actual cum, but it spit something at his glasses, and
it was the suggestion that
he wipes it off, and she's because she had just come in the room and he got a fucking bug boner.
In Mimic, the bugs excrete this stuff. So I don't think it's out of a bug's normal behavior to excrete fluids.
Yeah.
Whether or not they're nutting.
Right, but it was the suggestion anyway. It was
yeah. And then he goes on to say you're exciting it. And then she excites all the fucking bugs in the cages around him, the spiders and the beetles. They're all fucking humping the glass. Dude.
Yeah, that's the thing with this movie.
Maybe those fucking guys that hit her with the car were actually bugs. What
if they were the bugs from Mimic?
That's
the Judas breed.
Oh my god.
That's what I was going to say. They were Judas breed and they were trying to fuck her because she was excited.
They followed Mira Sorvino to the Alps.
Mira is Jennifer.
Yes.
Grown up. No, she became an entomologist after this whole experience.
Because she has bug powers.
Dude. Oh my god.
Zach. The smile on your face. Oh my god.
It's too perfect.
Is this the perfect prequel to Mimic?
I think it just might be, Danny.
But how would they have been Judas breed if it was 10 years before?
Well, that's how she got the idea.
Yeah,
for
it
Judas
was already
breed.
done in Europe.
But the idea wasn't to make man-sized roaches.
In the longer cut, there's 20 more minutes on the original Mimic, and it was deliberate. She's like, I knew this would happen.
But either way, she becomes an entomologist because of this affinity that she has for bugs.
Yeah.
A power she could have benefited from in Mimic and ignores completely.
Yeah, why didn't she just use the power to stop the fucking... She moved to America and got dumb. That's right.
Yeah. She forgot how to speak multiple languages, as they do in a lot of parts of Europe. as we stated earlier.
Wow, this is wild.
So is Mimic supposed to represent the dumbing down of society based on the American value system?
Yep.
So next, Sophie goes out and meets with her boyfriend.
Yeah, so I have a...
Wait, hold on. We should clarify. There's a lot, before we get to that, there's a lot. Again, this is what I was talking about earlier about that. There's a lot of ideas introduced that technically do kind of add to kind of why everything is happening. But it does feel a little disjointed because, you know, we're in this very specific location. We're in the, you know, the Swiss Alps, and Donald Pleasance's character refers to this thing, the foehn wind from the Alps. And it's this unique wind pattern, and that he notes that it has strange effects, and some even say it can cause madness. Mm-hmm. So I don't know why. Like, I get it as like a plot device. That's fun. That's, you know, maybe the killer is killing in this one location because of the foehn winds and all that. But I was trying to find like a connection between that and the bugs and the killers and the chimps, and like it was so did you guys see, do you guys know if there's a connection there, or is that just another ingredient?
See, I don't know, because I was confused because they mentioned the wind like a bunch of times. Mm-hmm. And by the end of it, they like mentioned the wind at the end, and I was like, what does the wind have to do with anything?
Yeah.
So yeah,
maybe it's supposed to be supernatural, because that, again, we're kind of jumping around, but we had mentioned it earlier when Jennifer reveals to her classmates that she does in fact have this supernatural ability to, you know, this relationship with bugs. There is like this wind blowing in on her. Mm-hmm. So is her ability maybe like heightened because of maybe everyone, like maybe the killers are more intense, the supernatural abilities are more, everything's intensified because of this location. Maybe that's what it is.
What did they call it? Was it the Swiss Transylvania?
Yeah.
Or
which is such a specific, is that just like Dracula? Like what, but why is there a Dracula reference?
Well, is it like I wonder if like the wind to them is like, or the wind in this situation in this town is kind of like we would go to like a full moon. You know what I mean? Where it's like people are like, oh, the full moon's out. Like people are crazy. Maybe it's like the same way with the wind.
Or like everything's weird on Friday the 13th.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe this wind is kind of that same way.
Okay. I could buy that.
Mm-hmm.
So the wind is like the glue that kind of binds all of these separate things and kind of connects it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's called El Nino.
It's like the bugs. Because it all feels like very coincidental. Like, what are the odds that she shows up to see a bug doctor, to solve a murder that she's kind of pulled into? There's like a lot of disparate things.
Uh-huh.
And yet it all feels connected in a way. And maybe it is that. Yeah. The wind.
Danny, I don't know if there's any like reasoning with this movie.
Yeah.
I feel like we had mentioned earlier, I think it's like a lot of ideas that are put together and then never really fleshed out one way or the other, like the wind and the bug powers and all that stuff. Like they never go full on in one direction to make it like a solid, coherent story.
And that's why it's a perfect movie.
Yeah.
How dare you?
Yeah.
All right.
But our third reveal is Sophie. Casey, what do you have to say about Sophie?
I don't like her.
What do you like about her?
She probably smells like fucking cigarettes. She tastes like cigarettes.
I thought you were going to say like Cheetos or something.
No, she fucking smokes all day. All she does is fucking smoke in their bedroom.
Smells like a brisket.
The dumb bitch. No.
Smells like a brisket.
I don't eat meat, but a brisket at least smells good when you smoke it. She smells like cigarettes. And then this is another like exaggeration thing when she goes to meet with her boyfriend, and he's like, I gotta go, and she's like, nah.
Yeah.
She just starts screaming,
and then he just kind of giggles. He's like,
he says something. She says, he's like says that he's got to go, and it takes like 3 hours to get where he's going.
Yes.
And in my head, did he travel 3 hours to see her and like kiss in a bush? And then he's like, I got to go back 3 hours.
No, he's leaving for like military stuff or something like that.
Oh,
and he has to be there at sunup.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's like, I just wanted to kiss you in these bushes real quick.
Yeah.
It's like, took me all day. This trip here and back is an ordeal.
Yeah.
Maybe he's the killer. Like, what's the motive? He's like, I'm just so frustrated.
He said he had to go, and she just lost her mind.
I need to make this trip worth it. I may as well kill some people.
Well, she puts on Jennifer's shirt. Mm-hmm. It's got like that gold on the back. And then she says something to her boyfriend like, this is Paul Corvino's daughter's.
This is Mayor Sorvino's shirt.
This is Mayor Sorvino's shirt. And I thought there was going to be some kind of like, she gets killed. They find the shirt. It belongs to her. She's like, oh, and then there's going to be like some kind of connection. Like, oh, you're the killer.
No, it's just because
something.
she wants to fuck him. So she's making sure her boyfriend knows that she's roommates with his daughter.
Oh,
yeah, you're so right.
Okay.
It doesn't go anywhere because this is like maybe one of the more important kills in the movie is because it's kind of like what gets Jennifer to be like, it's a personal connection to what's happening. It's kind of motivating her to solve the murders. And she does, she goes on a hunt looking for clues, and she does find clothing. So you would think because of the setup, she would have found her shirt that she let her roommate borrow, but she finds a glove that's like a fuzzy kind of glove that apparently belongs to the killer. It's like bananas.
I love that because
it's not like a killer. It's not like Jalo gloves.
It wasn't like a leather glove. It was like a mitten, like a knit
with like
glove.
A pattern on it with like kittens.
It's like a Hello Kitty glove.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
This would be a really good like YA, like young adult mystery story. If you get like, maybe there's murders, but it's not as aggressive. But the idea of like a kid, like very Coraline, like a kid like following the bugs to solve murders.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe this just wasn't for the right age group.
Danny, I think you're onto something that this would benefit from a remake for sure. But then we get the scene that we've referenced quite a few times is with her kind of surrounded and being bullied by her schoolmates. And then all the flies swarm the school and like get all over the windows. And I really wanted the flies to like break through the glass.
Me too.
I thought that was going to be fucking cool.
Shit.
I think Argento wanted that too. It's like, we cannot afford
no, we're not doing that.
Why, when this scene happens, when the wind starts blowing and the bugs come, why does Jennifer Connelly look to her classmates and say, I love you all?
She's talking to the bugs.
But she's like looking ahead at.
The bugs are past them outside, out the windows.
Oh.
But why is she even saying it? It's just.
Because she's a fucking psycho who can control bugs.
Oh, I'm so confused. Okay, I'm going to stay. I need to be.
You're confused about that?
Yeah. I need to stop trying to understand.
I think so. I think this is, like we had said, like, I think there is some solid movies in here, but they just didn't find it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
So I don't think there's going to be a lot of answers to these questions.
Yeah. Like we had already mentioned this earlier, but like I thought the twist was going to be that Jennifer was either evil or like born to be evil and then was raised to be good. So has like, because she said she's like, Beelzebub is the Lord of the Flies. You're the Lady of the Flies. So maybe she's going to like use her evil power, like kind of like Hellboy, he's evil, but raised. It's like nature versus nurture. And she was nurtured to be decent. So she's using her hell powers to be a hero. I don't know, but they don't do anything with that. It's okay.
Yeah.
No judgment.
Yeah. I would like a more straightforward version maybe, but
that'd be fun.
But this is just, it's a wild ride, Danny. We're on the go-kart. We're on the track. It's not slowing down. We got those bars, those fucking amusement park bars across our laps. And
that's a great metaphor, actually, because this movie is the equivalent of being on a roller coaster and instead of just enjoying the ride, you're like trying to like look at the structure of it and you're like, how is that looping? But the loop, everybody like, we're gone. We're not even on. That loop happened like 5 minutes ago. Like
and your fucking bar is loose and you're like, oh my God, am I going to fall?
How about getting into a roller coaster accident?
What?
I was making a connection to the fact that I have hit my head very hard on a roller coaster and had to go to the hospital.
That's terrifying.
Oh. Did you write Phenomena when you were in the hospital after a concussion?
Yeah, thank you for bringing it back.
That actually makes sense. Someone who's like suffered physical trauma.
Yeah, and then has a concussion.
I got a great idea for a movie about bugs. You're like, it's like whoever pitched this movie was like waking up from anesthesia. And they're like,
what do you say? Bugs?
The chimp's gonna save the day.
Yeah.
He finds a razor in the woods.
As like a studio like investor walks by, like a studio head walks by, he's like, what did I hear about this? And he has her pitch it to him exactly, and that's Hollywood, baby.
That's Hollywood. Dude, okay, so going into our fourth reveal here with Dr. Joseph McGregor. Was that it? Joseph McGregor?
Yes, also known as Donald Pleasance.
He gets killed on his chairlift, but what I like that. Okay, is what it is. What I really want to talk about is the poor monkey trying to get into the house.
Mm-hmm.
He's like out there pulling the kite out of the fucking tree. The killer shuts the door and he's like, oh no, the fucking door's shut. So he goes and he tries to get in, and then he's trying to get through the slats of the little, what do they call those? Shutters. Mm-hmm. Thank you. And he sees the killer in there and he's screaming and he's trying to get through the thing. So and I was just like, oh my God, this is terrible. Not because Donald Pleasance's character is dying, but because the monkey can't get in to save him.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's brutal.
He gets his though.
Mm-hmm.
But here's where I think, so that was our fourth reveal. Here's where I think the music is most misplaced in this movie. Is because there's this scene where they're like the ambulance and everything is at the house and they're taking the professor's body out on a stretcher and putting it in the ambulance. And there's like this hardcore, I think it's like Motorhead, like playing. And did you guys get that? Is that in your version of this movie?
Yes.
I don't remember, but I'm guessing yes.
And I was like, why is this heavy metal music playing right now? It just did not seem fucking weird. I'm like, this is too much. But so the monkey's on his own now, and he finds like a single blade razor in a garbage can. Was it in a garbage can?
Yeah, I was under I was so confused because I thought it was like that was the killer's stash.
Okay,
like all of his things were in that, or their things were in this thing.
Uh-huh.
And he was, I don't know, because then what does he drink?
I think like milk or something. I think he was just like looking for food. He was just hungry.
Yeah, it was a recycling bin.
Okay.
But I don't know why the razor.
What are we doing here? What is this? What's happening?
I don't know. But we will come to find out that we're glad the monkey found the razor.
We would be remiss to mention the fact that at this point, Jennifer has teamed up with the sarcophagus fly introduced to her by Donald Pleasance.
Yes.
And he's like, you guys are the two best detectives for this case. So she's officially on the case.
I love it. They're like, that's what this movie, that's how like wild, this movie is when the professor is like, I've got the two best detectives.
A 15-year-old girl and a fly.
The cops are like, oh my God. It's like, Jesus fucking Christ.
Like, can you just let us handle it, please? Oh my God.
Like, he's got tenure. He's just, he can... He's got a lot of clout.
This is like fucking Back to the Future with like a high school kid teaming up with a crazy mad scientist.
That's the thing. There's a very cute setup here, like a relationship with like very heartwarming, grandfatherly type with the. I don't know.
He dies.
Yeah. Very Back to the Future. Yeah. He dies brutally.
This would be a cool, Guillermo del Toro could remake this, and that would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fun.
That would be a cool Phenomena remake.
Yeah, the movie needs a wink, like at the camera. It needs to be have a sense of humor, a little more levity.
Yeah. Yeah. So Jennifer has teamed up and she has found the house from the beginning with with Vera, the tourist. What does she find in there? Does she find a? Oh no, the caretaker guy, like the guy who owns the property, like comes in and scares her. She found like some maps or something. She found like
but that doesn't really go anywhere. But the fly that she's with, her partner, finds a severed hand.
Yeah,
under the floorboards.
Mm-hmm. Because she sees like the little maggots, doesn't she? Mm-hmm. Dude, there's so many fucking maggots in this movie. Oh. It's disgusting.
I could do with fewer.
Yeah. So she runs away. We kind of maybe think that this caretaker guy is the killer because he's kind of like menacing. But then we'll find out later that he in fact is not, because the detective the detective who is following the lead of this 15-year-old girl and her fly partner, he's like, I'll just let them do all my work for me. So he like follows her and then he talks to the caretaker and he's like, yeah, I'm just the caretaker.
And at this point, Jennifer's like, I'm out of here. She calls her dad. She calls that guy Morris, who I'm like,
I think he's like,
I don't know.
Her dad's like lawyer or something, or like manager or something like that. And so they have like this relationship and she's like, send me money, get me out of here. And he doesn't send the money.
And who shows up?
But Frau Bruckner.
Yes. Yeah, she basically kind of is a nice button to what just happened, because it makes Jennifer believe that like, oh, I just asked for help. And here's Frau Bruckner saying, I'm here to help. So she's clearly been in communication with Morris and my dad.
Yeah.
This is another thing that doesn't make sense to me. The bank teller, did he know? Like, he kept telling her to leave, right? And she was like, no, I'll just sit over here. And he's like, I think you should take a walk. Like,
yeah, I read that as like him being like, the money's probably not coming, lady.
Yeah.
I don't know, but his demeanor, I don't know. It was very weird.
Well, Casey, to your point, because I read it as that. I read it as more just like, you may as well just like, if it even does happen, it's going to take a while. But there was a point where she doubles down and she's like, are you sure? Can you check again? And he goes, let me check the computers.
And he looks at the papers.
He turns around and he flips a page and looks back and goes, yeah, nothing.
Yeah, this was weird. But anyway.
Yeah. And a lot of it could be in the editing too, where like a lot of the stuff you could just like cut out. There's like another scene where he like checks the computer and he like comes back to look at her and she gets excited and he like shakes his head like, she's like, oh, wah, wah, wah.
This movie.
But yeah, Frau Bruckner comes in and she's like, Morris gave me permission to like buy you whatever the fuck you want. So just come back with me, go to sleep. She's like, I'm not sleeping at that school. And she's like, oh, even better. You can come back to my house.
Even better.
I'll poison you. And that is our fifth reveal, where Frau Bruckner takes her to the house, gives her some pills. This is what confused me. She gives her pills. Jennifer's like, I'm not fucking taking these. Yeah. And then she goes, okay, at least let me go in the bathroom and whatever. And instead of just like throwing the pills away, she actually takes one. And I was like, what are you doing?
Crazy.
And she's like, oh, it was poison. No shit.
Yeah, like, you knew that. That's why you said you weren't going to take it.
And I love how the poisonous effects kick in before the pill is even dissolved, because she ends up spitting it out anyway. It's so bananas.
Yeah. Yeah. But I do want to say that, like, I feel like that was actually Jennifer Connelly throwing up.
Yes, I was thinking the same thing.
Oh, it's disgusting.
Yeah,
like that was thinking the same thing. So
there
realistic.
Was no tube there.
Yeah.
Oh. Like, you get different colored liquid pouring out of her mouth.
We don't have to talk about that.
Yeah, that was gross. And then she finds like the maggot, again, more maggots, just like on the soap, on the towel, on the floor, on the thing. And she like realizes that like this is the house that
there's
all
dead
the bodies
in
are
here.
There's dead bodies in here. There's dead bodies all over this place.
There's dead bodies all over in here.
Yeah, Frau Bruckner has like a I don't know what I'm thinking of, but like she like hits a button and all the fucking like metal things come down and close all the windows and all the doors, and
it's like a panic house.
Like a panic house, yeah. Or like a you know what I'm thinking of is maybe like People Under the Stairs.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Where like
yeah.
they have the things come down and everything shuts up.
Yeah.
But a very convenient window above a door with a latch leading right to a tunnel with a phone. Why is there a phone there? And it leads right down to the tunnel with all the oh my God, I didn't. Okay.
Jennifer's trying to like has this complex like pulley system that she designs to move the phone.
She's trying to pull the phone to her.
But
she's trying to
it's
wrap
too
the
heavy.
cord.
She would never be able to get the phone up
I
to
don't
her.
think that's true. With the way that she was wrapping it, the heaviness would have actually tightened the cord around the thing for her to pull it up properly.
Yeah.
She would have done it right.
I love your confidence in Jennifer.
She's smart.
Yeah, I was like,
if she was smart, she would have just crawled through the door.
She's dumb for taking the pill.
But she would have just crawled through the door that she could fit through, that she ends up crawling through anyways.
Yeah. Well, part of me, so like she's up in there and I'm like, dude, why don't you just crawl through? And then I'm like, oh, maybe she's afraid of getting stuck in there. So she doesn't crawl through. Fair. And then like she does hook the phone and I was like, you're never going to get that up. But then she twists it and I was like, oh, okay. I see you, Jennifer. I see you.
All right. Well, teach their own.
Yeah, I think she could have got it.
Yeah, you fucking watch all those Mission Impossible movies recently, right?
He does that in every movie. He does the phone pulley system.
Yeah, because that's the craziest thing you've ever seen in a film, right?
Classic Tom Cruise move. But she does ultimately drop the phone down a hole in the ground that leads to the secret tunnel.
Dungeon?
Whatever. The phone rings. She picks it up, but it's Morris. But then she hangs up so that she can call somebody because Morris has now come to Switzerland and he's like trying to find her. Is it Morris? Is that his name? Morris?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I said it and I'm like, that seems weird. So that was our fifth official reveal. Frau Bruckner gives her the pill. And then when she comes out of the bathroom, she tries to make a phone call and she hits her over the head with something and like knocks her out. That's when we realize fully that Frau Bruckner is like one of the bad guys. If not, well, actually the bad guy, because we don't know about something else yet.
Yeah.
So we think she's the bad guy. And now Jennifer has made her way down into this tunnel with the phone. And this hand comes out of like nowhere and just like grabs her and pulls her through. And I was like, oh shit, that's fucking crazy. It's the fucking inspector who is chained up to the wall. And it looks like he's been there for a long time. Even though he's been there for
this is where I got confused
20 minutes maybe because he just gets attacked outside the house.
Because I thought the inspector was the guy who just showed up.
He did.
Which is,
yeah.
What?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He shows up. Frau Bruckner goes out to like meet with him. And then you hear him screaming. Mm-hmm. And then she goes down in the tunnel and he's like, it's me. I'm a detective or I'm the inspector. And it's him, but he's like chained up and it looks like he's been there for a long fucking time.
Yeah.
But he hasn't. He's only been there for just
maybe 10 seconds.
Yeah, maybe 30 minutes tops. I don't know. So that was weird to me.
That's hilarious. That threw me that's so funny.
Yeah. And this brings us to our sixth official reveal, which is the most disgusting fucking vile thing. She falls into a pool of just corpses and bugs and just fucking looks like shit and piss and juices. And
it's a lot like the scene from Poltergeist.
This is way worse.
Oh, yeah. It's like that times like 100.
It's got literally, there's literally an inch of maggots covering the top of it.
Oh,
you know what it reminds me of?
God.
It's a combination of the scene from Poltergeist and there's a scene in Honey, I Shrunk the Kids where they like fall into mud.
Yeah, the mud.
So if you take that like mud and consistency, ugh.
Yeah.
This part's really nasty. I liked it.
So on top of her being in this pool, then Frau Bruckner comes in and she's just like, fuck you, I got you. You're in this pool. She's like stepping on her hand as she tries to get out. And the inspector is chained to the wall and he's trying to reach Frau Bruckner and he can't get out of the chain. So he fucking just like punches his own thumb to like break it.
Yeah. They do that a lot in movies.
Really?
Yeah. Like, can you break your thumb like
hands?
that by just like punching it?
I don't know. I just mean in general.
The idea.
In movies, they break their hands a lot to get out of handcuffs.
Yeah. Right. But the way he did it, I thought was so funny. I was like, how are you breaking your thumb that way? But yeah, he like breaks his thumb so he can get out of the cuffs. And then he, I'll say air quotes, kills Frau Bruckner. He just like fucking stabs her to death with something. I don't know what he has.
Yeah. And then what happens to him?
That's a good question.
I bet
that is a very good question.
Frau Bruckner probably ends up killing him off screen.
Yeah, but what did he do? Just chill out in the fucking dungeon?
Yeah,
I guess.
It's like, I'm here. Just gonna relax a little.
I was like, it's not that bad once you get used to it.
Once you get used to the smell.
Just starts taking a bath
and the sounds.
Pool. He's like,
ew, Danny. He's got to like break his other thumb to get out of the other cuff. He's only got one hand out. So Jennifer runs away. She doesn't stop to help him. She just runs away. And there is a little bit of continuity craziness going on in this movie where she's like frantic, just got out of this pool of dead corpses and whatever. And then she sees this room with like this kid in it and she's just real calm. And she's like, it's okay, buddy. Like, you're coming with me. I'm like, bitch, get out of there. Like, get the kid or run.
Who are you? Follow me.
Yeah.
Also, we should probably point out another element that is very important to this movie is the fact that she has visions of this hallway earlier.
Oh, she does.
I don't know why.
While she's sleepwalking.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't even pick up on the fact that she had seen these in her sleepwalking visions. But Frau Bruckner earlier had mentioned that she has a kid and he's like hideous. And so she hides all the mirrors so that he doesn't see himself. And at first, so we find this kid in this room and he's got his back turned towards the corner. And Jennifer is walking in very calmly and she's like, hey, buddy, like your mom's fucking dead. You can come with me now. And he's crying and he turns around and he's got this like scary face with like teeth and there's like maggots crawling on his face. And that's our 7th reveal, the monster kid. But at first I was like, she turns and runs, she screams and runs away. And I was like, why are you being so mean to this child who is like clearly been abused and neglected by his mother because he looks different and you're just going to scream at him because he's hideous and run away and leave him there? Not realizing that he was going to attack her in moments to come. But I was like, Jennifer, like, you're better than this. Come on.
Is she the real monster?
But then he does chase her onto the dock. She like gets out of like this sewer drain and there's conveniently a dock with a rowboat there and she gets on it and he attacks her and there's this fight on the boat and the gasoline spills from the thing and it explodes on the water and there's this whole thing.
Well, first the flies attack.
Oh my God. I forgot about the flies coming to eat his fucking face.
Yes.
That was crazy. The flies come and to save
the
Jennifer.
bugs are like, we need to pay off our involvement in this movie in some way. Let's kill him.
We need to do something.
And they just swarm the kid and eat his face off and he falls in the water. And this is all a very kind of Jason Voorhees-esque moment.
Yeah. The second he shows up, the second the mom's revealed as the killer, it's straight up just Friday the 13th.
Yeah.
But like a fever dream of Friday the 13th.
Yeah, totally. And there's like, what's the Friday where they're fighting on the lake? Is that 6?
6.
And there's even fire. He makes a ring of fire. Yeah.
And actually, wasn't this?
This was 85.
When did 6 come out?
I don't know.
So Friday the 13th.
1986.
Jason Lives. It was 86. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So maybe that stole from this movie.
I don't know. It stars Jennifer Cook, which is very close to Jennifer Connelly.
Oh my God. And Mira Sorvino. Oh my God. And Paul Sorvino is basically the cook when they're in prison in Goodfellas. So maybe he passed that on to her.
Okay.
Say no more. But yeah. So, all right. So they're on the water. She tries to start the boat, but for some reason it catches fire.
Mm-hmm.
And then she jumps into the water. And then you find out that Jason is still alive. But then
Jason.
He's Jason. There's a couple things, 2 things in the scene that pointed out, which made me laugh. I feel like if you're shooting in a tank to kind of show that you're, on a, if you're on a state,
it was a very clean lake. Let me just say
you don't shoot down. Yeah. I feel like you should always shoot up or across because you literally just see the tank floor. It's like, oh my God, Dario. And then also nothing, as far as I remember, kind of prompts Jason to be lit on fire. He just kind of swims into the fire and that's how he dies. She doesn't do anything. I just wrote Jason attacks Jennifer underwater, then sets himself on fire like an idiot. Just that's it. There's literally nothing else.
So he lights himself on fire like a dumbass, and then she gets out of the water. This is where Morris shows up, and he's like, "Hey, I don't know how he knew she would be at this lake. Very strange. Yeah, out of all the places that she could be." Not at the house, but following this tunnel system to this lake, and he's pulls right up where she's walking out. Very convenient.
Well, it's an easily fixable problem because all they had to do, okay, maybe it's not that easy, but all they had to do was have Frau Bruckner somehow set up the finale at one of those abandoned buildings that they established earlier in the movie, so that when Morris shows up at the school, he could go looking for her and maybe hears commotion. I don't know. It's just why are we somewhere else? We've established these very specific locations. Why are we leaving? I don't know.
Yeah. But here we get the return of Frau Bruckner as she comes out of fucking nowhere and cuts off Morris's head with a piece of sheet metal or something.
Yeah, I like
such a funny little. She's she's trying to hit someone with paper. Basically, that's what it looks like.
Yeah, because then she has Jennifer on the ground and she's pushing it against her neck.
Yep. And in probably the biggest surprise of the movie to me, our fucking savior, the chimpanzee, makes his triumphant return with his single blade razor and just starts cutting up Frau Bruckner all over the fucking face.
So this
funny.
Is where the bugs should have killed this woman, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wouldn't that have made sense?
It would have made sense. I loved that it was the chimpanzee.
Yeah.
I did too. But
just because I was so excited to see him again.
Yeah.
Or her. Yeah. Yeah. It could have been the bugs.
And after this fucking monkey shows up with a razor blade and slashes this bitch's face all up, it runs over to Jennifer and she has a slight smile on her face.
Uh-huh.
And she hugs. It's you've just been through the most traumatic experience of your life.
Yeah.
And you're half smiling, hugging the monkey.
What is your life, Jennifer?
Yeah, what else is happening?
She's I'm moving to New York. I'm going to school. I'm going to study.
Was so strange.
I need to become a doctor or something.
Yeah. So the fucking monkey saves the day. All is well. And guys, that's fucking phenomena.
What a phenomena it is.
What a phenomena. That is a phenomenon.
A
lot of fun, just fucking crazy. I definitely could benefit from a remake, which Danny's going to write and pitch to Blumhouse, and we're going to get it made.
I'm really excited about our ranking episode for Halloween.
Oh, yes. I can't wait for that.
Where does this even? I don't even know.
So that is Phenomena. Let's recap our official reveals and pick our favorites in this movie.
What's going on here?
I don't see anything anywhere.
That's how they get you. They're under the goddamn ground.
So, speed round recap. We have the girl getting attacked at the beginning. Her name is Vera. She gets attacked at the house after she misses the bus. 2 is the lady who gets killed while Jennifer is sleepwalking in the abandoned building. 3, we have the killer getting Sophie out on the grounds of the school. 4 is Donald Pleasance getting killed in his chairlift. 5 is when we find out that Frau Bruckner is the monster after hitting Jennifer over the head while she's on the phone. 6 is the corpse pool. And 7 is baby Jason Monster Kid. What is your favorite reveal in Phenomena?
I gotta go with that opening.
Okay.
I thought it was a really cool reveal. I think it's challenging to have a villain who you don't see, who just does like the, hand in the dark kind of thing with the, but I thought it was like done really effectively here.
Yeah.
I think that's some of the best parts of this movie are the kills and the sequences leading up to the kills. Everything from exploring the creepy old house to kind of like the little setups of like the chains rattling and being ripped off the walls to the girl running away to the scissors in the hand to getting, stabbed in the ear at this beautiful setting with the waterfall. And then she gets decapitated and loved it all.
Okay. Yeah. And like you see the gloved hands later, but like you're like, wait, this thing just like broke off a wall. So like you think it's kind of like a monster, but then it's like, oh, wait, it's a person. And kind of don't really know what you're in for.
Yeah, really. I honestly thought I'd even seen an alternate poster for the movie that shows the chimp looking kind of evil. So I just assumed the chimp was the monster the whole time. I had to go back and actually take out monster reveals every time.
Really?
Yeah.
He's like a fucking hero. This fucking monster.
I was like waiting. I was like, oh, there's like something.
Yeah.
So,
okay. Yeah. Casey, what do you got? What's your favorite?
Mine's the corpse pit, just because it's so gross. But there is an honorable mention for the first scene, because I did really like that a lot.
Okay. Yeah.
But the corpse pit was just nasty, and I like to be grossed out.
Yeah. I'm totally going with the corpse pit as well. It is disgusting and just like so. Yeah, I don't even know. It's just so gross. I gotta go with that.
You could see how thick it was.
I wonder what it was made of. Like, for real.
How do you? All right, I've been trying to get rid of the thickness in my corpse pits. Like, what do you do? Just water,
lime.
Yeah, water's not going to do it.
Yeah.
Okay, well, now it is time for a segment that we like to call The Real Monster.
Run as fast as you can. You can't catch me. I'm the gingerbread man.
You're a monster.
I'm not the monster here. You are. You and the rest of that fairy tale trash poisoning my perfect world. Now tell me, where are the others?
Eat me.
Danny, why don't you just kick us off here?
All right, for real monsters, I have people who kill bumblebees.
Yes. I'm looking at you, Miss Rachel.
Yeah. Who's Rachel?
Miss Rachel is like she's like a kid's, she's on
YouTuber?
YouTube and she teaches kids. She's really sweet. Love the show. Indy loves her.
But she ends every episode murdering a bunch of bumblebees.
Well, no, but she has this like, it's like an old song, but she like sings this song about like, I'm breaking home a baby bumblebee. And then like it stings her. Yes.
Something.
And then she's like, I'm squishing up my baby bumblebee. And then it's like, ew, it's on my hands. I'm wiping off the baby bumblebee. I'm like, this is terrible, Miss Rachel. But on a side note, Miss Rachel, if you happen to be a hardcore horror fan on the side and you're listening to this episode, I absolutely love your content. So keep making it. Just stop singing the Bumblebee song.
I got away with murder, yes indeed.
All right, Danny.
Hope the cops don't come.
I didn't mean to take away your thing, but yeah, people who kill.
No, you totally took it away. Fuck you. I'm out.
People who kill bumblebees.
Yeah, people kill bumblebees, unless you're Miss Rachel. People who read other people's diaries. There's that scene where the headmistress and the students are just reading it. It's just so mean.
Yep.
I don't know. Just so mean.
Yeah.
And lastly, for Real Monster, I have people who cover mirrors instead of just not having mirrors.
Oh, okay. Yeah, just take them down.
It's true.
They're like, every mirror is covered. It's like, why do you have them?
Yeah. And not even like fully. Like there's still like corners that you can see.
You can still see yourself.
And if you keep your fucking kid chained up anyways, then what's the... I don't know.
Yeah. And also, I would argue that the mirrors that we see are too tall for a child to see through anyway.
Yeah.
Except the one that they have hanging in his little dungeon room. It's like long. It's like the length of the wall, but it's down. It's like 3 feet off the floor.
Frau Bruckner, you crazy.
She is.
Just take it down.
That's all. That's what I got for Real Monsters.
Casey, what do you got for Real Monster?
You ready?
Yeah.
All right. So first of all, I don't want to body shame, but monkey butts, because I did not like looking at that thing.
He's on my list too. That monkey butt.
I love monkeys. They're so cute, but what the fuck is that? Okay.
Yeah. It's weird.
Yeah.
Bad dubbing.
Okay.
Just because, right? Okay. Now, not people that kill bees, but almost wrecking your vehicle over having a fucking bee in your car.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jesus Christ.
Chill the fuck out. Smoking cigarettes in shared spaces.
Okay.
Gross. With somebody who's not.
That's a good one.
With somebody who's not a smoker.
Yep.
Yeah.
Eating baby food as an adult with a toothbrush and liking it.
I will say it's not all that bad.
That's fine. You have a child. She doesn't.
That's true. I've never ate it with a toothbrush handle, but
yeah.
You should try
chill the fuck out.
Yeah.
Okay.
What's your favorite flavor, Zach, that you've had?
Well, I have never, and I will never try any of like the meats. That's
like the savory ones.
That's like disgusting to me. But like apples or pears,
sure.
It's just
it's
just mashed up fucking apples. Like that's it.
That's different. She was eating mixed vegetables.
Yeah.
Because she's a vegetarian. Okay. Next, I have one.
Yeah, which never. Oh, because I guess she loves nature and likes natures. Okay.
Wandering into random houses, because all these people they're just flippantly wandering into places, and that's why they're dying.
Yeah.
So the girls reading the diary, I put down as narcs because they were like telling on her for the shit that was written in her diary.
Okay.
Then they proceed to bully her, so I have narcs and bullies. And then my last one is going into somebody's bathroom and using the random cup that they have sitting on a shelf.
Ew.
That's funny.
Because
I didn't even pick up on that.
You're like, I'll have some water. Use your hand and get it out of the faucet or something. Don't use that fucking spitty fucking ugh.
Ew.
And there's maggots everywhere.
Oh yeah, good point. Also, just don't take the poison pill that you're pretty sure is poison.
Yeah. So that's it. Yeah. That's all I have.
That's it. I think that might be our biggest list of Real Monsters for any
pretty
episode.
Long. Most of them were within like the first 20 minutes.
Yeah. I've got the guys who hit her with the car and then proceed to grope her and whatever. They're Real Monsters. I've got the teacher who asks the class what the poem means, but she's standing right in front of the poem on the board. So like you can't see it because she's in the way. Like you can't even read what it says. Like get the fuck out of the way, teacher. And then lastly, I have Jennifer's sneaking skills. When she is trying to get away, like she's got like an IV in her on the bed. They say like, we're going to take her to a mental hospital. And they have this lady like sit and watch her and she like falls asleep while she's knitting. Right. But Jennifer is like so quiet getting the tape off of her arm to get the IV out. Like it's like she's like moving it like a millimeter at a moment so it doesn't make any fucking noise. And then she finally gets the tape off and she gets out of bed and she's bumping into the IV pole and she's getting in her bag and she's putting on her shoes and she's doing all this stuff.
She's like playing a DJ set. She's like,
you were so quiet with the tape and now you just like do not care. And you're just like, that was fucking wild. So she needs to work on her sneaking skills because they are the real monster for me in this movie. Okay, so now it is time for our last and newest segment, Would You Survive? Frau Bruckner and her little monster child in Phenomena.
And here we go.
I would.
Would you?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was always, as a kid, I was always really careful about not wandering off on my own at school functions. So
yeah, but even
for
if
that
I
reason
did,
alone, yes.
I'm just, it's not like the killer was super like witty or there were any kind of traps or anything like that.
Yeah, I agree with Casey. I think
let themselves get speared.
Yeah.
So much happens. Like the final battle between Mira Sorvino and Jason Voorhees. It's not like she throws him into the fire. He's literally underwater and then just swims into fire and dies.
It's like, oh shit.
Zach, would you survive?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wouldn't.
You just have to like not take poison pills when people give you poison pills.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's like little things, like choices.
Or take
like,
them and then drink a bunch of maggoty tap water and throw them back up.
Ew. Yeah, I think I'd survive, honestly. You don't have to survive the demon kid if you can just survive Frau Bruckner. And she doesn't seem that hard to avoid.
No.
Yeah.
No.
You know?
I mean, a monkey killed her with a fucking razor blade.
Yeah.
She literally died by a chimp. That's funny. And she was weakened by a guy in chains.
Yeah. With a broken thumb.
That was her weakness. Yeah. In her own house. In her own death chamber.
Oh, God.
Oh, Frau Bruckner.
You just wanted to say it again.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, that is Phenomena. That's it. That is not only is that Phenomena, that is our Bugging Out triple feature.
Oh, we have that bug spray.
You can finally use the bug spray.
Yeah. All right. I'm shaking it.
No, we want the bugs from from Phenomena though. They're good bugs.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. Clear. Yeah, bring it back.
Okay, guys, it is time to announce our new triple feature coming straight from Danny. This was your idea. This was your pick. It is your turn to pick our new triple feature. What are we doing? What's the theme?
We are going to have a howling good time.
Ooh.
Because our next triple feature might be, I know I picked it, so I'm really excited, but I think this is literally a perfect string of 3 consecutive movies. And I could not be more excited. We are doing The Dog Days of Summer, which is to say we are doing 3 movies about not dogs necessarily, as the name implies, but evil dogs, werewolves.
Not dogs, but evil dogs.
Evil dogs.
That aren't dogs at all, but they're wolves.
They're part of the canine family. Wolves are part of the canine family.
Yeah. So our first movie is going to be Silver Bullet. Mm-hmm. Stephen King's Silver Bullet, starring Corey Haim and Gary Busey. I love this movie so much. Danny, I know you are a huge fan. Casey, have you seen it?
No.
Oh, you are in for a treat. It's so fun. It's so cool.
Right, I'm going to say right here. Okay. No, I'm not going to say it. It has to do with Gary Busey, and I feel like it's just going to spoil it.
Oh, okay.
All right, I'll say it. He gives the greatest line deliveries ever in any movie ever made. I've never been more entertained.
Yeah.
That's it.
He's so good in that movie. Yes.
It's crazy.
Casey, what is our second movie going to be in our Dog Days of Summer triple feature?
I have chosen a classic An American Werewolf in London.
Oh, yes.
Guys,
very much
these are two solid werewolf movies. How are we going to top two solid classic werewolf movies?
I don't know. Tell us, Danny.
Yeah,
we are watching, to wrap up our Dog Days of Summer triple feature, we will be watching the classic, the iconic, universal horror movie, The Wolfman, with Claude Rains and Lon Chaney Jr.
Yes. Yeah, so a movie that we would not have this triple feature at all if it was not for that movie. So I'm super excited to be watching it because classic.
Me too.
It'll be our first Universal monster movie that we're covering on this show.
Yeah.
Which is very exciting.
That's crazy.
So make sure to tune in for our Dog Days of Summer triple feature in the next coming weeks. Where can our listeners find you guys on social media?
I am on Instagram at Wolf Mother Casey.
Nice. Danny?
Wolf. Werewolves. Cool.
Oh, good call.
Oh, Werewolf Mother Casey.
Yes.
Actually, that's not her name. Don't look that up. You won't find her. You can find me on various socials at my name, Danny Salem, DANNYSALEMME. That's 2 M's, like the candy, melt in your butt, not in your hand.
Wonderful. And you can find me on social media at Zach Winsick. And make sure to follow us at How I Met Your Monster on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, X Factor. What the fuck is it called? X, TikTok, anywhere you can find podcasts. And tune in for our Dog Days of Summer triple feature. And until then, thank you all for listening. Now go meet some monsters.